I'm Medina Kareem. My preferred media to work in is graphite as well as charcoal, and I use paintbrushes, dry paintbrushes, to allow to have more range in my values since I work in a gray tone. This allows the lines to be smoother and spread more across the paper and get inside the grain, so it eliminates the roughness of it, as well as it creates subtle highlights instead of using white pencil and powders or whatever else I would need. My experience with art, I've been in Art 1 last year for my sophomore year, and this year I'm currently in Art 2. With Art 1, we've just experienced more art, just mediums such as watercolors, basics, pastels. We've also helped around the school, created t-shirts whenever a teacher wanted us or a club wanted us to help. Within Art 2, we're also expanding on more variety and more opportunities within the art field, such as technical art and computer graphics. I'm also in National Honors Art Society, and within that we do murals around the community square and also help with other school teams and sporting events, creating whatever they need to hype up and rally up a team. My influences, they're not huge artists. My influences came from PBS shows such as Bob Ross and his show The Joy of Painting, and Donna Dewberry and her one-stroke art, which helped create a lot of value changes with easy paint strokes. And this just came from me watching PBS as a child growing up and always been interested in it. My parents and my grandmother helped me expand that love for art. My personal best work would be a piece that I worked on for my boyfriend and I's 2-year anniversary, and it's a mixed media piece in which I use Mod Podge, watercolor, tempera paint, graphite, ink. I use basically everything as more of a scene and a moment with both of our favorite colors mixed into it, and it's an expression. Also, I've done an oil painting in which I've decided to use the dry technique, which is a quicker way to spread paint. So it's like drawing with graphite, just spreads faster, easier, different shades, and it allows for more variety since oil paint does have a sheen to it. Bob Colescott is one of my favorite artists. His work is more influenced on combining sex as well as racial issues, so a lot of his work is more expressive. Nudity is shown. It's just live moments and scenes where we wouldn't exactly see it as society or accept it, but there's people out there who like it, and he just opens it. My favorite piece from him would be the lock in Key State, in which there's a Caucasian woman and a black African man, and they're together. He's caressing her while they're together locked in chains, and I really like this piece just because it speaks, and their faces are put in such a way that it looks like one heart, so that each of them are a piece of it. For this piece, I used oil paint, and as you can see in the hair and more subtle areas, I've used just the oil paint as much as I could and loaded up so that you could see the shine of her hair, natural highlights as to where the light will capture it. And for the body, I used oil paint as well, but I used a dry technique in which you dry the brush off and use it as graphite, but it gives you a lot more variety at a lot quicker time and pace, so you're able to finish and complete. And I did it for her little eye mask and her lip tone for a matte lip. And this piece was more inspired by the new wave of women and the tattoos that's coming into them lip piercings, just piercings in general, great gauges, makeup use, as you can see by her strong contour and her eyebrows. This piece I created last year in Art 1, and we used clay, and it was supposed to be a mug, but instead I made it a little pencil holder. And for this, you could see the carving and welling I did while the clay was decently dry, so I can get the details of the Chicago Bulls logo. So this piece is a piece we did recently, just before our winter break. Within this piece, we just polarized a picture of ourselves, and then we cut out from our lightest to darkest areas, and in which you can see the cutout up close, and you can see all the little details and carvings, but far away it comes up into one single picture. This piece is a graphite piece in which I normally work with, and as you can see, it's a gray tone and it's smoothed out so there's not a harsh line. And our assignment for this was a spoon selfie, so I took a large metal spoon and looked at myself, took a picture, and decided to draw images and show the curvature that the spoon was showing, as well as the hand that I was holding it with, while creating a very subtle back outline from it to show that there is a shadow and the highlights coming from the spoon. For this piece, I used soft pastel, and for the facial features, I used my brushes to smooth out and make it come more realistic so it looks more like skin. For the makeup look, I went more an Arab-inspired look so that the focus is on the iris and the eye color. And the scarf will be covering the rest of her face to show that it's winter time, and you can see as represented by her hair colors and the tones to create a calm, subtle mood. My artist I chose to mimic was Alice Aycock. She's most recognized for her sculptures, most of which are more paper-like, and she has a paper museum in which she does have our sculptures all mimicking the traditional folds or behavior of paper. One of her most notable sculptures is called Cyclone, and in this she has a constant movement of the curves of the metal to keep the eye going, and it's abstract, but it shows that this confusing nature of a tornado cyclone. It's simplistic, and it allows you or the person watching to develop personal thoughts onto what she was thinking more. So I used her sculpture Cyclone as my motivation to create my paper roses, which is also abstract in thought. I used newspaper as my material because of the ease to form and its ability to keep its shape, as well as some construction paper to give it a pop of color to keep your eye moving around the image and keep it still rotating so you can know that it's a flower. This goes with her Cyclone sculpture because with her sculpture there's more curvatures as well as just the openness of it,